and welcome to another edition of the smAshlights, where I don't get enraged about anything, but I do talk about whatever I want, because, well, that's the point. And thanks for leaving a comment. Be stoic. Be Stoic left a comment and said, he's here. Now, nerds like me, when we were kids, read the dictionary. Check out this word. Trolland. So, the word of the day on Merriam-Webster is plaudit, which is an act or round of applause. Please take a moment to provide a
plaudit
for this video, as we are streaming live. And I agree with Rush Limbaugh that the tension created with a live broadcast creates a better output. This is why I don't make boring recorded videos as much as I make live streams. It's also more efficient for us. So, how about a photon? Are you familiar with what a photon is? How about a quantum of electromagnetic radiation, right? We're going to talk about photons a little bit later, about what's going on with the Large Hadron Collider. By the way, it's not making sunspots. Check it out. I found a dated term, trolland. Trolland, a unit of intensity of light at the retina equal to the illumination received per square millimeter of a pupillary area from the surface having brightness of 1 candle per square meter. It's a dated term coined by Leonard T. Trolland, an American psychologist and physicist. Let's talk about trolling. What kind of trolling? Well, it's to antagonize others online by deliberately posting inflammatory, irrelevant, or offensive comments or other disruptive content. And I'm not going to talk about who I've been trolling, but by the way, a lot of people have been looking up obsequious, because obsequious is a term that Joe Biden idiotically used, referring to Trump's relationship to Vladimir Putin. So it's almost obsequious, according to Biden, which means marked by or exhibiting a fawning attentiveness or too eager to help or obey someone important. So yeah, Biden claims Trump is obsequious to Vladimir Putin, and Trump claims Biden is obsequious to China, because he thinks Biden's agenda is made in China, and I would tend to agree, and that his own agenda is made in the U.S. By the way, again, we're streaming live to Twitch. It's twitch.tv/smAsho. Please subscribe over there if you enjoy the content on YouTube. We love to watch the live premiere events with our audience, as I would remind you that I'm not only smAsho, but I'm also a client. YouTube.com/smAsho. Check out our playlists over there if you haven't. Visit the links below the video. Help support the channel that way. We're also on BitChute, and there is, of course, exclusive content over there. Our top video is one that was demonetized on YouTube. COVID-19, the disease caused by coronavirus, cured via hydroxychloroquine. Let's talk about Chad and COVID. It's very scary. It's spooky. I'm scared it's spooked. So scared it's spooked that I want to go to a giant party in Wuhan or Beijing or someplace like that, because they're going on all over the place, because they're just like, all right, you can hang. Yeah, you can hang. You're just cheap plastic and you're made in China. Now, I'll tell you something that's not made in China, smAshomash.org. It's got links to our social media underneath this arrow here, as well as links to the forum, the smAsho store on Teespring, the smAsh store on Teespring, and our affiliate. So check that out. If you'd like a souvenir, congratulations on surviving a global pandemic so far. Now, this shirt's gold. The one I'm currently wearing is actually black. Smasher priced my first pandemic. Smash staff's mom seems to like this one, as she got Karen'd at the grocery store. I guess they were offended by the planet having a mask on it. And let me tell you, I'm offended by the planet having a mask on it, because it's stupid, ineffective. It's a ridiculous and infantile response to a virus that's turned out to be not novel at all. Let's see what I was talking about at smAshomash.com/forum in the coronavirus thread, which is part of the free-for-all forum, by the way. The whole forum's free-for-all. Feel free to set up a login if you'd like to contribute. smAshomash.com/forum. Turns out, back on April 11th, Oh, see, it just vanished. It just keeps vanishing. It's becoming such a nice virus. It's cheap in plastic and made in China. Let's see what was going on April 11th. Summary. Global new cases stabilize as deaths in the U.S. and U.K. continue to climb. Oh my God, it seems very scary. White House readying plan to start reopening economy by May 1st. How did that work out? Global coronavirus deaths top 100,000. England's death toll tops 8,000. New York sees negative ICU admissions for the first time. Turkey death toll tops 1,000. Deaths in Spain continue to decline already by the 10th of April. So we've got a 31-page section about COVID, and we copy-pasted all the text from the articles into the thread, along with occasional comments from our viewers, users of the forum, etc. Apple and Google team up to fight coronavirus with Bluetooth. Oh, yeah. Now, next in the news is, now we covered this last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago. They had this giant pool party in China, in Wuhan, China, which was the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. And of course, the initial handling of the coronavirus outbreak caused me to state that China is a paper tiger and is greatly overstated in terms of its danger to the rest of the world because of the pathetic and infantile response that Wuhan had to the SARS-CoV-2 outbreak. In any case, guess what? They're still partying in China. They're not wearing a lot of clothes. All they do is they use their app, which uses contact tracing to determine that they're very unlikely to have been in contact with anybody who had COVID, and then they check their temperature, and that creates an infinitesimal chance of contracting anything from inside the club. They're not wearing much clothing. They're not wearing masks. No masks whatsoever. There's an article about it on Zerohedge. It's zerohedge.com. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you may not see videos like this one, where we've got a volcano and a giant pleco called James T. Kirk. Yeah, we got a volcano in our tank, folks. Also, you may see information about bike rides, like I forgot to make a clip yesterday, and shout out to the Velo Shop. Anyway, we are growing our organization. Again, please check out smashamash.org and the links therein. If you want to check out the affiliate link, it's smashamash.com/affiliate. And let me just scroll down the list. You will have to have ad blockers turned off in order to see this page. Just turn it off for this page, leave it on for the rest of them. Otherwise, you won't see the ads because these links to our Amazon affiliates products, they're advertisements for specific products. Our website's not going to collect your information or do anything. We're not going to sell your information to third parties for advertising purposes or anything like that. smashamash.com/affiliate, and we'll be making more content featuring various of these products. Perhaps consider a Bluetooth keyboard for your device because you're sick of using screen keyboards. Or perhaps you need a new mouse? How about the Lenovo Legion M200? It's only $20. If you haven't gotten an air fryer yet, consider getting yourself an air fryer. Use our link to go to the GoWise 3.7 quart. There's also a 5.0 quart on there. And we're looking to invest in a purple one here for the shop. We've got to get some people together to maybe get Becky a Christmas present so we can do more cooking at the bike shop. Because when we're done riding, we want potatoes. And welcome to another cosmology segment where I continue to talk about whatever I want, and something I talk about a lot is cosmology, as it is a branch of science that's essentially being rewritten. First in cosmology, let's talk about cosmic rays. Now, cosmic rays are protons primarily traveling at very high speeds, sometimes from very distant locations, possibly including other galaxies. And they affect Earth's weather and so on by causing cloud nucleation and other aspects to Earth's environment. They also affect the sun, most likely. In any case, here are the cosmic ray monitors at Apatity and Barentsburg. And we did see an uptick here over the past week at both Apatity and Barentsburg. Otherwise, flat over the past 30 days. Let's also look at Athens, Greece, a neutron monitor much farther south. And there's the flat graph of the last 30 days at Athens. Next, we're going to look at Mexico City. Mexico City flat on the past 30 and an uptick over the past week there as well. And lastly, Oulu, Finland and DOMC, Antarctica. To see what's going on in the southern hemisphere winter in terms of neutrons. There's Oulu, and you see a similar uptick of the past week. Flat on the past 30 days, there's DOMC, Antarctica. Slight downtick over the past 30 days, but it still does show that 1 week uptick in cosmic ray flux. Monitor them yourself. Don't take my word for it at the network of cosmic ray stations. I like it. Now, we regularly talk about cosmology in terms of the Neil Gorell Swift-Bat Observatory. Today we don't have any feature from that. However, we're talking about the Heart Nebula. Yes, NGC 1805 is the featured object today. Here's a zoom in on Simbad. That's S-I-M-B-A-D. And there is a globular cluster in the heart of the Heart Nebula. Globular clusters are like little galaxies within a galaxy. And this one is interesting in that it's got stars that appear to be of different portions of their life cycle. Now, as far as stellar life cycles go, I'm in complete disagreement with the HR diagram, which I'll talk about in a minute. But you can see in here we've got red star, red star, red star, red star, blue star, blue star, blue star. And that's not considered normal, as most globular clusters seem to have stars with similar emission spectra. So this one here is interesting in that it's got apparently 2 different sort of generations of stars in it, and this could give some insight into how NGC 1805 formed. If you want to read about it, this one's on SciTech Daily. And of course, most of these stars will be orbiting some sort of central point there, probably a beyond stellar mass radio source located in the middle of that. Now let's talk about the HR diagram. The HR diagram is the idea that we can tell stellar life cycles just simply by looking at the brightness and the temperature. Now, of course, those things are related. Also, in terms of solar radii. So, for instance, Deneb is a very, very hot star. It's also a very huge star, only a little bit smaller than Betelgeuse. If Deneb was in our solar system, it would be about the size of Mars's orbit. Then you come down here and you've got other hot stars that are similarly hot to Deneb and just not as bright. Of course, Deneb is the most intrinsically bright object visible from Earth in the galaxy. So in any case, the HR diagram is a theoretical explanation of stellar life cycles. So what you're looking at up here is they're saying, okay, 10 million years ago the sun was like this, 6 million years ago the sun was like this, 1.5 million years ago the sun was like this, and I don't really see any evidence to any of that, but I just wanted to familiarize our viewers with the HR diagram, as it is sort of a widely believed evolutionary chart for the way stars behave, as it's believed that when stars get cold, they also do weird things like collapse and do work on themselves and violate laws of thermodynamics. If you're not familiar with the Greek alphabet, well, I was just looking at it because B Centauri is one of the hottest stars out there, very close to the blue level, and I'm not so good at the Greek alphabet. I've spent enough time reading the dictionary, survey said. Oh man, I guess I'll have to do more of that when we get done making the video. Large Hadron Collider creates matter from light. Apparently, if you have a bright enough series of lights, you'll create a W boson. And without getting too into this is a job for Eugene Bagashov. Anyway, it turns out that at massively high energy states, the weak electromagnetic force is related to electromagnetism. So this is part of the point of unified theory science, where stuff breaks down, or I guess it breaks up. But in any case, yeah, the Large Hadron Collider creating matter out of only photons. An interesting series of events, to say the least. Photons and W bosons are force carriers, as they both carry the electroweak force. It's really happening because nature is quantum mechanical. If you want to read about that, it's also on SciTech Daily, about the Large Hadron Collider collecting matter from light. By the way, consider funding us via any way you are able, as we are tanking over here, especially at YouTube. But in any case, we're on Subscribestar. We're also on Patreon rather. So consider becoming a Patreon. It's patreon.com/smAshomash. Thanks to our patrons for being the true source of funding for the content. And for those, we need your help, patrons. So for those of you who are sending us a couple bucks, up to $15 per month, we greatly appreciate it. Please tell your friends, foes, science noobs, and science pros that you're sending us money, and that perhaps they should too, as we will roll all of it back into making more content. And here ends another smAshlight segment. Again, please visit the links below the video. Press like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Leave a comment, etc. Again, share the content with your friends and foes, science noobs, and science pros.